Welcome back to the Durham Student. I'm Tian, and I'm here joined by my two friends from the Social Science Department to talk about what is it like to study combined social science and politics. So I'll let them introduce themselves first by just giving us their Durham stat and where is home for them.
Hello everyone, my name is Waseem. I am a fourth year combined honours student. I specialise in politics and geography, and I originally hail from East London.
Nice. And which college are you from?
I am at Grey College, which is objectively the best college because it's right by the science side, so I can roll out of lectures 5 minutes before they start.
Great. And then Gabrielle?
Hi everyone, my name is Gabrielle. I'm a first year politics and international relations student. I'm in Hildbeed and I come from North London.
Perfect. I feel like you guys both live up to the London stereotype, but it's okay. I'm from Leeds. We've got people from North. I guess the first question is, what was your route into Durham? For example, what A-levels did you do? And what was the process behind deciding Durham as the university choice for you?
So I first heard about Durham through the STEP residential. It's a summer school that just wanted to encourage more black students to come to Durham because I think a lot of people know that it is not a very diverse uni. So I applied, I got into the summer school, and since then Durham was just, the uni that I wanted to go to. So for my A-levels, I did politics, economics and English literature, and passed my A-levels, and now I'm here.
I wish it was that simple for me. Up until the first term of year 12, I wanted to go into engineering. Politics, geography was way off my radar. So my initial A-level choices were not politics. They were geography and then maths, further maths and physics.
Oh,
It was only until the first term of year 12 that I realised that actually I hated further maths and physics was not my forte. So I quickly emailed my academic advisor at the time and sort of wondered, okay, what subject would I be interested in? I always chose geography as like my fourth subject because I knew that if I wanted to go into engineering, I needed a backup, and I initially picked geography because I liked studying it. I really enjoyed it in secondary school. And then I looked through my options. I thought, okay, if I'm going to drop further maths, what would it be interesting? Oh, I'll do politics. I've always been interested in politics growing up. I just never thought there was like a career path at the end of it or like a path at uni. So I never really thought about it. But then I realised in year 12 that actually I should really study something I could actually enjoy. So why not let's drop this further maths thing, switch out for politics. And if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. Ended up being a good choice because I ended up dropping physics at the end of year 12 as well. So my final A-levels ended up being maths, politics and geography, which I was really happy with. But then that had led to a new problem in year 13, which is I couldn't decide between geography and politics. So I've been very indecisive kind of in my uni choices, my course choices. I sort of leant towards geography in some of the other universities that I applied to. So I applied to like Cambridge and UCL and LSE, and I sort of leaned towards geography because I felt like I had a good intersection between what you learn in geography and what you learn in politics. There are two separate fields technically, but there was quite a lot of overlap. But then I was sort of researching other universities and I sort of came across Durham's combined honours course. And what I really liked it straight away was you could pick and choose your modules essentially and pick between multiple subjects.
Did you find this out when you were in year 13?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I was so absorbed in researching universities. There wasn't a lot of outreach from Durham towards my sixth form college specifically. Even though it was a really good sixth form college that had a lot of good university progression, I noticed that a lot of people didn't really consider Durham as an option. A lot of them sort of stayed around London and the southeast or Oxbridge because that was where the focus was. But when I researched this course, I realised that actually I'm surprised that not more people know about this because Durham is such a high-ranking uni, especially for the subjects I do. And this course offers so much flexibility. So I ended up putting it as my third option because I couldn't decide between politics and geography, but why not pick somewhere that lets you study both and does it so flexibly? I think Edinburgh was the other place I applied to as my insurance, and they have a geography and politics course, but it's a way more rigid in terms of their module structure. So I settled on combined honours, and I got my offer back really early. Even though the first word in my personal statement was geography, they gave me the offer for social sciences, which is really cool. So I got my offer really early for Durham, and then once I learned more about what the course offers and what it would be like living there and the ranking it had, I felt like it kind of felt like a natural choice. At that point, I decided I really want to move away from London for university. Durham's a really high-ranking uni. It has the full flexibility, and I feel like I made a good choice in doing that. But it all really stemmed from my indecisiveness, which sort of becomes a concurrent theme as I continue through uni as well.
Which is quite different to Gabrielle. So, what made you want to do politics and IR specifically, from your subjects?
For me, I've always known that I wanted to do something politics related or international relations related since I want to say I knew properly in year 10. I knew that when I started sixth form, I wanted to do politics. That was a definite A level for me. You know, that was something that was a non-negotiable, to be honest. Yeah, because I just love politics, and I think the appeal for politics for me was just learning about the world and how other countries, you know, relate to each other, you know, the interdependence and all the things like that. So, politics was definitely the one. Yeah.
Yes, that's great. So both of you do politics. So I guess what is the difference then between studying just politics and IR compared to doing a combined honours? Maybe Waseem, if you know much.
Yeah, so I mean, the main thing with combined honours is that unlike politics and IR, where you probably will have a few compulsory modules in first and second year, I think politics combined honours technically has none. I think the only real big restriction is obviously you have to pick your modules in a way that lets you do a dissertation in your final year. So this is something that will get explained to you when you join the Durham and join the combined honours course, is that you have to pick your modules in a way that lets you do a dissertation. Combined honours actually does their own dissertation where you can combine subjects, but most students will tend to do one in a particular subject that they're interested in. So I ended up doing mine in politics, for example. But apart from that, there's basically no real restrictions on module choices. Obviously, some will have prerequisites and co-requisites, so you might have to study a module in first year to do a module in second year, for example. But apart from that, and you might have to have certain A levels to do certain modules in like economics, for example, from what I learned.
Yeah,
But apart from that, you literally, it's a free for all. It's a pick and choose degree. And like Megan, who's the sort of course leader, sort of describes it as like a pick your own adventure. So you basically get to pick modules based on your interest and what you want to study. So I knew coming into Durham that, like, for example, in politics, I really was interested in international relations and comparative politics, but I hated political theory. And so I wanted to...
That's the opposite of me. That's so funny.
I know. But this is the great thing about combined honours, is that everyone has a unique kind of module choice program. Like, I think Megan says something like 90% of students have like a unique combination of modules in the year, which is really cool. Like, very few people will overlap. So like, you actually get to choose what you're interested in. And I think in first year, you sort of choose based on what you're most interested in. Like, just pick the modules that you find more interesting. But then actually, as you progress in second and third year, you start to realise what themes you're more interested in, and you pick your modules across subjects based on those themes. So I'm really interested in like geopolitics and international relations, like war and conflict studies, or political inequality or social inequality, for example. And those are the sort of things that I found ended up becoming really interested in. So in second and third year, I sort of picked modules across politics and geography and IR that really suited those themes. Whereas in first year, I just picked the ones that seemed more interesting. Like, I did the modules in like geographies of crisis and like planet under pressure and geography. And then in politics, I did stuff like international security and global arenas, global affairs and that sort of thing, which was really cool. So it's kind of a lot more flexible. You have a lot more open choices. It can make it quite tough because you have to like you kind of have to like make sure that there's no like timetable clashes or anything, but there's a lot of resources on the Durham website that let you do that. But that's the main benefit, really, is that nothing's technically compulsory apart from a dissertation, which we'll get to.
So I guess for you, Gabrielle, like how is it been like having compulsory modules? Like, was that something that you knew about? Was that something that you were looking forward to? And I guess even within like a degree like politics and IR, I guess what would you even say is the difference between politics and IR? Because I know sometimes there's a bit of confusion with like IR is just global politics, which, I'm not sure if you could expand on that.
Yeah, no. So in terms of the compulsory modules, I think it wasn't something that I was unaware of. You know, before coming, I did extensive research into what I was getting myself into. So I knew that there were going to be modules that I would have no choice but to do, but also modules that, you know, I had the option to do. So my compulsory modules were researching politics and international relations. And to anyone that does politics and IR, just be ready to do some coding. You know, that was
coding?
Something. Oh, it was the worst.
Get used to
politics.
Get used to our
I'm
studio.
still confused.
Yeah, it's it's horrible. I couldn't even tell you today. That's how bad it was. Yeah. But no, to be fair, our lecturers for that module are really helpful. So, and to be fair, my lecturers in all my modules, you know, they always encourage us to use our office hours, and I think that's a really good thing to like it's just remember that if you do need help, they are there to help you, because that's literally their job. But no, back to modules, yeah. So researching was compulsory. I think political theory was compulsory. Comparative. This is really bad. And a few more, but I know my optionals were international security, interdependence and organizations, and I have forgotten the other one.
That's
but
okay.
It's okay, you know. I just know that I had 4 compulsory modules and 2 what do you call them? 2
Optional.
two optional modules.
Nick, for the optional one, were you able to choose from other departments, or could you also do it within SKIA?
Yeah, you could choose from other departments, and that's something I actually regret, kind of, because I feel like first year is the year to kind of explore.
Yeah.
So if I could go back, I would choose an optional module for classics, because I did classic GCSE and I loved it so much. So I wish I could. So hopefully in second year, maybe. But yeah.
So the way it works is that social sciences, we have 2 faculties in Durham, and certain subjects fall under social sciences faculty, some fall under humanities, which forms the liberal arts faculty as course rather. And I can't remember all the subjects off my top of my head, so I'm going to give it my best go. But in social sciences, basically the main restriction is that half of your credits must come from the social sciences faculty. So you can't, for example, if a lot of people, the most common like subject choice that I've created is history and politics. A lot of universities offer that as like its own standalone degree, but Durham actually doesn't. So you have to either pick social sciences and liberal arts, and you might be confused, okay, if I'm doing history and politics, for example, or like politics and economics, like what do I pick, basically? So the main thing to know is that with social sciences, half of your credits across first, second and third year must come from the social sciences faculty. And if you're doing liberal arts, half of your credits must come from the liberal arts faculty at some point. So there's still quite a lot of flexibility. Like you can do social sciences and only half your credits will actually ever be in the social sciences faculty. But it's just that main restriction. Like when you get to the end of your degree, it basically what gets written on your degree certificate is like, have you done more in social sciences or have you done more in humanities and liberal arts? And there are some cases where I know students have swapped over halfway through their degree. They might have started in liberal arts, but because they've done their dissertation in politics, for example, they've ended up doing more social sciences credits, so they can switch over. So there is some flexibility there. Yeah. So don't worry too much about it. But just know that that's the main difference between social sciences and liberal arts.
How would you describe what politics is, or what it's been like studying politics?
You know, I really enjoyed first year. I think even though I did have more compulsory modules than optional modules, it made me realize how much I prefer IR to politics, because I think it was something that I realized before, but I think since coming to uni, I've always felt more engaged and more interested in my intro to IR lectures and my international security lectures.
Can I say, what do you think is the difference between politics and IR?
So for me, I think that when it comes to politics, you're mainly focusing on UK and American politics. That's what I've found, especially like when you compare it to like sixth form as well, because that is mainly just, well, obviously it depends what exam board you do. But for me, I did UK in year 12 and US in year 13. So from that, you could just say it's just UK and US and like mostly comparative. So the comparative module that we did, that's basically what I did in sixth form as well. Yeah. So that's why I'd say politics is mainly UK and US, but IR is literally in the name, like international relations, learning about the world, how countries depend on each other, you know, policies, learning about organizations such as the UN, even things like the IMF, the World Bank, all of that, like it relates. And like you even mentioned war studies, like it is broad, very broad. So I think that's why I like it, because it's not just the politics of the international relations, it's actually anything, like just international. So
I think, something I guess I've also even realised is that even within a subject, I think in first year, everything seems quite broad because it's supposed to just give you an introduction, and then you can slowly like figure out your passions, like Waseem said, like second year is when you realise like, what do I like, what I don't like. And I feel like sometimes what I wish, I guess, because I'm in a combined honours as well, is sometimes like when you do have compulsory, it's much more structured, like, you know, you get told what to do, which sometimes for some people that might be better than having to like figure out what you enjoy and you don't enjoy, because I realised that I still don't even know what I enjoy and don't enjoy.
It honestly depends on your personal preference. Some people like that structure. Some people get really stressed about picking modules, because picking modules in combined honours is stressful.
It
Is because you have to like worry about modules clashing, timetables, because obviously I suppose one of the big downsides of combined honours is like different departments obviously won't coordinate their timetables because they don't really
talk to each other.
Yeah, pretty much. So you do have to do a bit of like juggling in terms of like knowing which modules fit and when, but it's not too hard. There's like a timetable app on like the Durham website that you can search somewhere. I'm sure there'll be a link. So you can do that sort of mental arithmetic before you even come to Durham, because they do release the timetables quite early. But some people prefer that sort of structure of like knowing, okay, this is what you'll be taught in first year. These are your options. This is the list, basically. And you still have a lot of flexibility in second and third year, even in like a single honours. Yeah. But combined honours, you let you pick from the whole range. But that is probably one of the few downsides to the degree. I still love it. But one of the few downsides is that when it comes to module selection, it is very stressful, just because you have to like fit things together.
Yeah. Okay, hopefully you guys now know the difference between those two degrees. So before coming to Durham, like, was there any perceptions or like you had or about Durham before coming? Or like, you know, I know you talked about the summer school. Would love to hear more about like how that was for you.
Yeah, so as I said, the summer school was to encourage students of Black heritage, to apply for Durham, because literally, as I said earlier, the uni isn't that diverse in terms of race. Going to the summer school, not saying that it gave me a false perception as to what Durham would be, but because it was just Black people, I thought that a lot of Black people would apply. But I remember in my first few weeks and like going to lectures and just walking around town and being like, wow, this is really different. Because obviously I grew up in London, and everyone knows that London is literally
really
the most multicultural city in the UK. So coming here, I think being here has made me like, this is where I've really sat down and realized like, wow, I'm actually the only Black person here, or like one of like 5. Like I can literally count how many Black people there are. So yeah, I think that was kind of difficult, because I've been around, and not even just Black people of color, like in general. I've always been around like people of color my whole life, primary, secondary, sixth form. So I think coming here, that was a big change, but you know, it's just something you've got to get used to.
Say to people who might like be put off by it, like how did you like take that leap of faith? Like I know some of my friends were like, I'm not going to apply for Durham at all. So like, what made you still want to come to Durham despite that?
As Waseem said earlier, this is one of the highest ranking universities in the country. Like
So
it
true.
is top 10, you know, and even despite the name, like I just think the city is amazing as well.
So beautiful.
Like it's beautiful. There's a lot to do. People always say that there's not a lot to do here, but I think you actually have to go out and see for yourself, even if it's just walking or, you know, going to Babs or something. You know, there's actually always something to do. Yeah, I would say to anyone like thinking, like just worrying about the diversity, don't worry. Like, and there are many societies. You have DIPOCA, which is the People of Color Association. I'm a part of ACS myself, which is the African and Caribbean Society.
Ooh.
And through all of the society, I've been able to meet people who have, you know, come from similar backgrounds, or we share similar experiences, and that's just made it easier to relate to people and just meet new people and make new friends.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, I got a bit unfortunate because I applied during the COVID years. So I started university in 2021, which is 4 years ago now. Feels so ancient now. But so it made it a little bit tougher applying to universities, because obviously I couldn't go and visit them. Durham did do a very nice thing where when the COVID restrictions were over, they did allow people who had offers to go on tours, which is really nice. So I did get to at least see the university I applied to. But until then, I was really much relying on online information and rankings. So, I mean, for me, like, once I realised that trying to get into my first choice uni, which was Cambridge, was not going to happen, I kind of like looked at rankings, looked at the subjects, looked at module choices, looked at kind of what I would be expected to study, basically. I even looked at like reading lists, because they're available online for everyone to see. And I was like, looking at the module titles and the lecture titles.
Prepared.
I was like, okay, of all the universities I have left, which one can I see myself having the most fun at, having the most intellectually stimulating time at? And that was Durham. I think other few things did sort of sway my decision, like the ability to choose a college, for example. I think is really, I think
we'll get on to colleges soon.
Yeah, but I think that was a really good full factor, because it kind of makes it a little bit easier to apply to Durham, in the sense that you pick a college as well as the university. But it's not like some other universities where the college kind of dictates your chance of getting in. It's more like the college helps you settle in. It's like where you'll
Yeah.
live in first year.
It's like community.
Pretty much. It's a lot. It makes it a lot less overwhelming. Like they kind of act as their own communities, their own support systems, which are really important. So that was like a big pull factor for me as well. But I was just kind of like just researching like mad in sort of during the COVID years. I was just kind of like looking at league tables, the rankings of my subjects, the module options, and I sort of settled on Durham. I think having the offer given to me quite early as well. I got my offer in December, which like I didn't hear back from other universities like April or May. I think that helped me solidify my option as well, because I thought at that point, well, this university's obviously giving me an offer really early. This is surely a sign, right? Like they obviously really want me here.
They do.
And I think having a contextual offer as well, I had a slightly reduced offer. As well, I think that kind of ultimately swayed my decision. And then seeing the university for the first time in the flesh in the summer was like, okay, I can see myself, enjoying my time here. So yeah, it was a bit of a scuffed kind of decision making process, because I didn't have the same resources that you guys have now. And I really, really encourage people, if you can get to an open day or get to a post offer open day, like go to it. Like the information that they give you, and like I feel really jealous for the people who come, because I work in the open days now. Like I feel really jealous for those people who get to have those conversations, because I didn't have that opportunity. I was very much relying on online stuff, but I still feel like I made a good shoot.
There's Uni Buddy. And those are actually live students behind that, because I know, because they're my colleagues. And so, yeah, feel free to use that if you do actually not
definitely
be able to make it to open day.
There wasn't a lot of outreach from Durham University to my sixth form as well. So something I noticed as well, and then this is something that you experienced as well, being both Londoners, is that we come from really diverse backgrounds. And my sixth form college was like really highly ranked. Like I was really fortunate to go. I had to like work really hard to get the grades to get in there. But even there, I was like, I noticed like Durham was just not the option for most people. I noticed like very few people, even though if they were capable of going to Durham, just didn't go. And it's something of a bit of a culture shock as well. It's like knowing that like there's a lot of people that I know could have gone to this university but didn't. And I feel like partly that's because there wasn't enough outreach, but maybe that was just during COVID. But I also feel like people might be put off by either stereotypes, or the distance was probably a big factor as well, and the cost of living. But I feel like if there was more awareness on Durham's side, like I feel like there's so much opportunity for people like us. So I feel like we belong. Like we have worked just as hard as all the other students from grammar and private schools to be here, and like we deserve to fill up those spaces and fill up the lecture halls as much as anyone else. Like I feel like I feel like we need to, I feel like it's not just diversity for the sake of it. It's like more, it's having those perspectives, having those backgrounds in there, because they can really influence, your learning. Like some of the conversations you can have in seminars, some of the conversations you have in lectures. And, I feel like lecturers really appreciate when you make those contributions and like really bring those ideas in. And something that I've really pushed for is like knowing that, okay, looking at who I'm competing with, looking at some of the backgrounds of the people that I've, worked even harder to get into. It's like, I know that I have to stand out somehow, and I don't want to make that thing be like my skin color, or like my background or my accent. So like, using my experience to like make those contributions, bring those ideas, I think it's been really, really important. I feel like I've had a better experience academically because of it, for sure.
Yeah,
can I add to that?
Of course, come on.
Go for it.
No, it's like that's actually such a great thing to say, because for me, I was the only person in my sixth form who went to Durham at all. So I think the thing that you said about outreach was really like important as well, because I think Durham themselves they've made it known that they want to like encourage more people from different backgrounds to apply. So I think if they could work on their outreach and like actually talking to schools in areas that they don't really get students from, I think would be really beneficial, because even though it is one of like the best unis in the country, not many people know about it, to be honest. I don't know if it's because of the distance or because of the lack of outreach or things, but yeah, I think they could benefit a lot from just like literally outreach and things like that. So that was like a really great thing to say, because I agree.
And like I feel like just to summarize before what you said about like being different, like you're different is a strength.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, like when you're in those seminar rooms, you're going to be able to contribute stuff that other people, like just from different walks of life, different lived experiences, just won't understand or know. So like, yeah, just be encouraged, guys, to apply. And then, yeah, I guess moving on, I'm going to talk more about your college life, which I feel like people underestimate the amount of fun you can have in Durham. Like both like how I found Durham is like, quite good academically, like we said, but also the collegiate life, the college life, like you said, that's where you find your community. So I guess, how did you go about choosing your college, and how have you found the social aspect of university?
Oh, great question. I mean, so I was picking colleges based on like material needs, if that makes sense. Like I was looking at, whether I want to be catered or self-catered in first year was a big deal because that obviously makes a big cost difference to your first year of living. And I knew I wanted to be catered because I wanted to remove that stress because the Durham catering package compared to some other universities is actually really good.
Really?
Like, it's 3 meals a day, 7 days a week.
Do some universities not even do that?
I think some of the others I've seen don't. Like it either works on like a meal ticket system or you just don't get 21 meals a week. So like compared to other, yeah,
My starving students.
I know, right? Like, so like compared to some of the other unis, like I actually really liked that idea, and I knew it would remove the stress from first year. I also wanted to be in a college that was like not too close to the city centre, but also not too far away. I wanted to be like very close to the science site, which is where a lot of lectures are happening. If you ever seen a picture of like the TLC or the Bill Bryson Library, a lot of my lectures were happened in that sort of area. So I wanted to pick a college that was very close to it. I wanted like...
How far is Grey from?
It's literally down a hill and you're there.
Like 5 minutes?
5 minutes to the science site, even less if you're going to...
Is it the closest?
It's either that or Mary's. I think that or Mary's are like the closest ones to the science site, but Grey's even better because like it's on a hill, so like it's closer to like the maths building or like the ones on the upper, because the science site is kind of on 2 different hills, and like Grey's kind of in the middle of them, so it's like really, really well located. So like I could literally wake up at like 5-10 minutes before my lecture and literally roll.
Do you?
Well, I have to have breakfast first, so I don't, but theoretically you can. And also just like to the library is like a 5-minute walk. To town is only like a 15-20 minute walk. Like it's a really good central location, very good facilities as well. Like we recently got our sports pitch renovated, so now we can hire it out and like play tennis, football, basketball, all sorts. Like that was really good that we had that renovated. It was also relatively modern. I didn't want to like live in a college that was maybe too old or like too historic. I always kind of wanted to live in like a more modern college, and Grey's kind of in that nice little middle zone. And it was a really good location, really good facilities, a really great support system as well. Like I really needed that support system a lot during my college life, and like I think that's a really big benefit of Durham if you're thinking of applying, is that if you go to like a bigger university, like more centralized, like it can be really scary. Like knowing, okay, if I'm struggling, who do I ask for help? But actually, Durham has a lot of multiple avenues, and college can be a really big advocate for your needs if you need them. So I'm really grateful that Grey's support system was really, really good and really supportive when I really needed them. And I'm supporting most of I'm sure he'll be, I'm sure Chad's as well. It's very similar as well. So that's a really big plus of going to Durham.
And most people like who I've spoken to, even if they don't get their college choice, you somehow like just find your people, and like everyone just reps their college in the end. Like everyone says that's the best. Obviously I know Chad's is the best. But anyway, going out on Hillbead. Hillbead's interesting because people say that Hillbead is not a Bailey or a Hill college.
Yeah, I think on the website it's actually listed as a river college. So
River?
That's very interesting. But no, Hillbead is very funny because it wasn't my first choice. My first choice was actually Jon Snow.
Whoa.
Hillbead was 6th. But it wasn't too bad. It wasn't thing. But yeah, I think the thing with Hillbead is before coming, I think a few days before first year started, I actually came to Durham with my dad. And we saw Rushford Court, and it said College of St Hilda and St Bede. But obviously, I was a bit confused because obviously everyone knows that Hillbead is actually in Gilesgate. So even though I was confused, I was thinking, okay, this is actually quite good because if anyone knows where Rushford Court is literally 1 minute and you're in town. So I think it's a great location in terms of...
It used to be in Gilesgate.
Yeah, the old site they're renovating it now, but the old site is in Gilesgate. But it's not deep Gilesgate. It's literally where Rushford Court is. I think if you go past a roundabout, I want to say like 10 minutes. So it's not...
Yes, Durham
not
is quite small, so you'll be able to find stuff. Yeah.
It's not that far. But yeah, Rushford Court, great in terms of location. They recently just finished, I think it was January that they finished building the college. So yeah, it's been nice to see it like be done in real time because my view is literally, I remember when it was just scaffolding and now like it's all complete. So yeah, I think it's really good location in terms of town, literally 1 minute from Babs as well. And to get to lectures, it is about 25 minutes, which is quite far like compared to a 5-minute walk, but it's not too bad. From September to now, I think I can get there in I want to say 15 if I'm really pushing it. So yeah, but no, I do love, it's literally like you said, I do love Hillbead. Even though it wasn't my first choice, I think if I was reapplying again and I knew I know, by the way, I know now I would have put Hilled Bead first. I do love,
Nice.
self-catered, ensuite, double bed. Like, what
Double
more
bed?
could I ask for? Like,
only got a free quarter one in first year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so good.
but no,
Wow.
I do love
How
my
do you
college.
find like, I guess the transition to like cooking for yourself, sharing a kitchen? Because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like being self-catered is much more independent. Like being at catered, I'm feeling like, oh, this feels like a bit like boarding school or something. Like I feel like next year is real challenge for adulthood. But yeah, how have you found it?
No, to be fair, I found it really great. I put all the catered colleges last. Like, I wanted to be self-catered, mainly because I just wanted to learn how to cook for myself. And, the summer before uni, my mum and I, we tried out different recipes. We cooked together.
It's a really good tip.
Before coming. So, yeah, I think self-catered and catered, they both have their pros and cons. Self-catered, as much as you can cook for yourself, it can get very long. So I do understand why people spend a lot of money on takeaways, because sometimes you just can't be bothered. Like, no, it's actually so true. Like, after a long day, like on Mondays, I had 3 lectures. I think my first one was at 1, then I end at 5, and then going home, having to cook all of this. Who knows how long it's gonna take? That's why sometimes, to be fair, I do very good with takeaways. I'm not a takeaway person at all. Like, but
Saving your money.
Yeah, but there are some days where you just can't help it. So a cheeky, naked bird. Who can say no to a naked bird? So yeah, no, I do love cooking for myself. It's a life school. I'm gonna have to do it at one point. So yeah.
And I guess like on the flip side, how do you find like the communal aspect of eating together in a catered college?
I mean, I see it all the time because I live in college in final year now. I'm still catered in final year, which you can do, by the way. Like, if you don't like the idea of living out in private accommodation in second and third year, or you don't like the idea of having to go self-catered, you can really stay. If you belong to a catered college, you can stay in living in second and third year, especially if you have any disability requirements or anything like that. They do prioritise. You will be prioritised. So if you are overwhelmed by their option, do know that that's still an option for you. But I see it all the time. Like, all the freshers will they'll come together, they'll eat together. Some people eat alone, and that's totally fine. Like, there's no obligation to. There's no pressure to. Like, you can just eat when you need to, like, if you have flexible requirements as well. But I do notice that, like, a lot of people use it as a time to catch up on each other. Like, if they have exams at the moment, and kind of, like, they use meal times to, like, catch up on that and kind of talk about what they went through. Dinner time as well. It's like, you generally got quite groups together. So it really just depends on, like, who you socialise with. It's a really good way of, like, keeping up with each other, finding people to sit next to. But, if you want to eat solo, you're perfectly entitled to. And there's literally no pressure. Like, facilities are amazing. Like, the halls recently got renovated, so like lots of seating available. I'm sure most other colleges are like that as well. It's really what you make of it. I think of catering.
Because they're coming at a good time. A lot of places are getting renovated.
Yeah. No, Gray's gone through a lot of renovations. We had our dining hall renovated, our bar got renovated, sports court just opened.
got a new bar.
The whole everything.
sports court's got renovated now. Like, it's a good time to be a Gray student. Not to be biased, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, I just realised you guys might be confused why Waseem's like a 4th year student.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell them why?
Yeah. So technically, social sciences, like most other degrees in the social sciences, are 3 years long. But I'm a 4th year because I went abroad last year.
Oh, where did you go?
I went to the Netherlands. I went to Amsterdam.
Wow. So how did you make that choice? How did you find your year abroad? Give us all the tea.
Right. Well, I wanted to do a year abroad pretty much when I started university. Like, I've never properly gone abroad in my life, and I was like, if there's a chance where I'm going to live abroad independently, like, university is going to be that time. I think social sciences is really good in that regard, because actually the flexibility in terms of module choices in Durham actually transcends abroad as well. So you can actually choose between your main subjects, kind of what you want to specialize in on your year abroad. So do you want to do a exchange in politics, exchange in geography, whatever? If you do like a modern language as one of your main degree subjects, do be aware that like you'll have to do a year abroad at some point, and it'll usually be tailored towards either going to a university and studying that language, or doing like a work abroad and like working in like the countries that speak your language and doing that sort of experience. But I was just a study abroad student. I could basically choose between politics and geography. I ended up going with politics because it had more concrete exchange options, and there was a lot of English speaking universities that had options available. I settled on the Netherlands because I really like Dutch culture. It was also really easy to get to from my house in London. Like, I could get a Eurostar and be there in 4 hours, which was really good for moving in. Didn't have to worry about planes or anything like that. But also just like the same skills that I learned from social sciences in terms of like choosing modules and flexibility actually really helped me in Amsterdam, because the way it works over there was that I had the same thing. Like I was basically had all the options available in social sciences open to me, and I could choose modules in like sociology and communication studies as well as politics. And actually the requirements for year abroads, especially for study abroads, are quite relaxed. You don't have to do all your modules in like a certain subject if you're doing like a combined honours course. So I didn't have to do all my modules in politics, and I made sure to make a lot of use of that. And there's a lot of flexibility as well. Like you only have to technically pass your year abroad to make it, and it still gets put on your degree certificate at the end. They'll make sure that it's clear that you've done your year abroad, and it'll say on your degree certificate when you graduate, which is really good. And also you just learn a lot of skills out there. Like my dissertation that I just finished writing a month ago was actually inspired by the travelling I did whilst I was on my year abroad. So like my dissertation probably would not have come about in its current form unless I maybe gone on that year abroad and gone to other countries and like, which is really, really big ambition of mine. It was like, you know, visit other countries that I've studied, you know, kind of how do other countries do things. Like I was there when like the Dutch elections were kicking off, and like that was really interesting to study, to sort of go in the lecture room the next day and be like, oh, Geert Wilders has won the election. What does this mean for all of us? Like that was a really strange seminar, but it was really good.
Yeah.
And also it's just a really different way of learning. Like it's so unique, and Durham does offer a lot of support as well for going on year abroads. So your maintenance loans or your tuition fee loans still could carry over, and you actually get more maintenance loan for going abroad compared to what you usually get if you were to study at home. There's like a reduced tuition fee, so you don't have to pay the whole 9k for the year. I think it's like 1.5k at the moment. And you also get the Turing grant. So I got about extra 3.5k for the year. And if you go to like a more expensive country as well, you can even get more than that. So you actually get quite a lot of money thrown at you to go on your year abroad, which is really handy. So I mean, that's basically why I've ended up staying for an extra year, was basically because I did that year abroad, but I wouldn't have had
And
it.
you don't regret that choice?
Absolutely no. I think I actually needed that year abroad. I feel like I needed it to like, you know, reset myself, see other countries, see something new, do something new, live independently as well. It's a very different way of living out there in the Netherlands. Really different, like the way, even like the minute things of how they design their cities and where their bike lanes are. Such a big culture shock, but I would not have had it any other way, and I'm so glad that I did it. Like, and I really encourage you that, like, if you want to do it, like, just go for it. There's so many options, there's so much support. It's a lot of less pressure on you. Like, you just have to pass that year to have it mentioned on your degree certificate. So, like, you know, just do it. Pick it. Like, if you go on the Go Abroad, if you go on the Durham website, there's like a section called Go Abroad. If you go on there now, you can actually research some of the options that you have. You don't have to start thinking about it until second year, but you can go on there now and sort of like, okay, if I'm studying geography, for example, what university could I go to? It works on 2 levels. So like Durham has like institutional wide agreements. So like you can just go to, so Durham has agreements with other universities, and you can basically study any subject there. And then some are department specific. So like the politics department of Durham will have an agreement with the politics department of Amsterdam or Zurich or Aix-en-Provence, for example. And that's how the exchange works. So there's a lot of options. Do your research. It's not just Europe as well. You can go international. There's a lot of places in America, China, Australasia. Like there's so many options. But you know, if it's something you're into, like definitely feel free to go on the Go Abroad website and have a quick look now, because like there's so many options.
And it just shows you like how much opportunity like there is in Durham.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's something I probably underestimated, like how much you can get out of being here. And I feel like similar to like an earlier point you made, Gabrielle, is like how much you get is how much you put in as well.
Of course.
Like, you know, you need to be active, be proactive. Like, I think that's the biggest step in going to university, is the independence of just being proactive. Like, there's not going to be a teacher spoon feeding you, like, what are you going to do? Like, you know, there's not someone that's checking up on you doing your reading list. Like, it's really like up to you how much you want to get out of your degree, how much you want to get out of university life. And I know, Gabrielle, you are part of 2 really cool societies, Women in Politics and the Diplomacy Society. Why did you want to join a society? Why was it these 2 that you are passionate about, and how has it been being part of those societies?
Me personally, I'm not really big on going to clubs, as much as I've made jokes about it this podcast. Yeah, I'm not a club goer at all. I just find it's just not for me. So I just thought, okay, I want to find something else to fill up my time, but actually doing something that I enjoy and I feel like will be fulfilling. So yeah, obviously as a politics student, I'm very interested in, you know, as I said earlier, the international relations side. So I was really happy to find out about the Diplomacy Society, because obviously for me, the end goal was to be a diplomat one day, God willing.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, I think that was a very obvious choice. And I think that society is really great because what they do is they bring in speakers from different political fields. So I know they've brought in like the former head of the MI5 and like GCHQ, also different ambassadors to different countries. I remember I went to a talk with one of Donald Trump's former advisors. So yeah, they bring in like big people. And they also held a trip in the Christmas holidays in London where we got to go to different offices. So we went to Parliament, we went to the Foreign Office, we went to the Times. You know, it's actually like a great society. And I think that's one good thing about Durham. Like, you know, all these societies are student led. So literally, like you said, like 2 minutes ago, it just shows the opportunities that you can get involved in. And it's not like adults doing like it is students who are part of the university doing it. So it also inspires you because like once that's why people, you know, join execs because they've seen somebody do something and they feel, yeah, I want to do this as well. And yeah, also women in politics as well. That's a really good society. It is a new one. I think it only started this year, but even Tian can talk about it as well. They've done a lot. They do trips to Parliament. They even did a CV workshop that I found really helpful. The president of Women in Politics, yeah, she helped me with my CV and the template she gave me, this is the one I'm using today. So yeah, all these societies are great. And just because they have politics in the name, it is wider than that. Because see, I'm talking about a CV workshop. That's not related to politics. But
any degree that would be helpful.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think get involved in as many societies as you can. Like that's just 2. I'm also part of badminton, public speaking, as I said, ACS as well. So yeah, just do a lot of things that, you know, one that you enjoy, but also that you just want to know more about.
Yeah,
you
try
know.
something new.
Yeah.
That's what university is for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My story's a bit different because compared to you, where you've done like multiple societies, I basically did one big one and made it my whole personality trait. Which I don't know if I regret that going forward, but I mean, my whole career path is now set on it. When I was queuing up to get my food one day in college, I was noticing that Palatinate, which is our student newspaper, were handing out free newspapers, and I took on it because I came into university having my indecisiveness about my course choice being solved, and now I didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduated, and I didn't know, okay, do I want to go into the civil service, work for an MP, like what do I do with this degree? And I picked up a newspaper, started reading it. I can't remember the exact process that made me do this, but then I got interested, applied to be a news reporter in first year, started writing articles for that newspaper, and just fell in love with it. I don't know how to explain. I can't quite fathom the experience of how I ended up going from picking up a newspaper in college to making it my whole personality. But it somehow happened, and I think I just really got attached to it and really started loving it. So, I mean, Palatinate has been, you know, it's basically made my Durham experience what it was, and I wouldn't have the experiences afterwards if it wasn't for that paper. So I kind of started as a news reporter, then got promoted to news editor in my first term, which was really good, and just wrote a bunch of stories about, like, you know, really holding the university account. You know, I did a story on, like, you know, there was this student from Ukraine that was in Ukraine when the war kicked off back in 2022. And I got to interview her and sort of tell her story, and that was really emotional. I did like a story on like postgraduates and sort of the working conditions they were going through. I've also done some really wacky stories, like how many Oxford rejects this university has, which I know is a very pertinent stereotype that I wanted to challenge. Spoiler alert, there's actually less than you think there is.
Some people just apply for Durham because Durham's great.
Yeah, exactly. Like Durham is good at university in its own right. But I mean, I just fell in love with student media, and like Durham's. I feel like there's so many specialisms that Durham is really good for. Like student media is one of them. I mean, we're in the Purple Radio studio as well, which is one
big up
various
Purple
awards.
Radio.
But also, Power TV's was like for 3 years in a row was like the best student television station in the country for 3 years in a row, and even this year they were second. So like even like that, I've done a couple of broadcasts with them, and they're really good. Platinum is so professional as well. Like the editors that hired me on, one's still doing his PhD in Durham, but the other's now like a political reporter at the Times. So that's kind of like the caliber of like student reporter, and it's all student led, but that's kind of the caliber of talent that goes through that paper, which is like incredible. And I was just surrounded by these really ambitious guys, and so being able to have my own stamp on that was really, really important to me and really made my university experience what it is. But it's not just student media. I think theatre as well is such a big thing here. So many theatre companies that I know my friends have gone up to. Sport, both on like a college level and like I don't really do any sports. Like I do it for fun, but I don't do it on a club level because I'm not really competitive.
There's college and like DU. Yeah. Like if you want casual, go to college. If you want serious,
go DU. So I mean, Durham's really good for sport as well. And I think like there's so many things that Durham's very good at, and like it's all student led. It's all through the university. and through the SU, like you'll find something that you'll like.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
will find something somewhere. For me, that was student journalism. I think for you, it was more like, you know, the political society is a lot more like heritage society as well. But like, you will find something that you like. It's just knowing where to look, basically. And like, definitely go to the Freshers' Fair in first year.
Fresher week. Yeah.
Freshers Week, yeah. And you'll be able to learn more about these societies. But like, you'll find something. Like for me, like I didn't go into university wanting to be a journalist, and I'm leaving university having written for like The Spectator, The Guardian, you know, My London, like all these really great newspapers that I wouldn't have been able to write for and have internships with if I didn't join my student newspaper, if I didn't join Platinum. I mean, I probably should have tried other things as well. That's probably something I do regret. It's like, I think I spent so much time in student media that like I didn't broaden my horizons a little bit. But that doesn't mean I regret not doing Platinum. Like generally, like I wouldn't be here now without it, and I wouldn't be applying for the jobs I'm applying for now without it as well.
And also in terms of societies, don't think that it's only first year that you can join societies.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can literally join societies any year, second year, third year. There's no limit on trying something
It's
new
never
or
too late.
joining new society. So
A lot of
Yeah,
societies
something like
are
that.
very friendly and very cheap to join as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like I think we'll
A
have
lot of them free.
yeah,
a lot of them are free
yeah.
or like very low cost. So like again, it's just like you can go on the SU website right now. Like there's a list of all the societies that are currently
I
active.
think over 200.
Yeah. So you can definitely go on there right now and again have a look,
Have a browse.
see what
Yeah.
if takes your fancy, then sign up.
Oh, you can
sign
even
up.
sign one up. I mean,
Yeah,
create one.
Create one
Yeah.
yourself, yeah.
If you don't,
Yeah.
if there's not one, like you said, Women in Politics is quite
yeah.
Yeah, like I think when I joined, there was no F1 society, for example, in first year, and then then by the time I'm graduating, there's like the big F1 society in
new.
like
Yeah, it's quite big. now.
university level, but there's also like so many college ones as well. I've been to quite a few
Yeah.
college watch-alongs, and like again, like that wasn't a thing in first year, but people have gone and made the effort to, you know,
Yeah.
and it's really, I think it's not that hard to ratify a new society. Like if you have a exec together and you have an idea, like they will listen to it and, you know, maybe run with it. So, you know, don't be afraid of doing that as well.
Yeah, and definitely like use any exec like opportunities to like just go for it.
Yeah.
Like I know people are like, oh, but I've like never done this, but like university, like I feel like what I realize is no one cares.
Yeah.
Like you yourself is probably the biggest barrier,
Mhm.
and like you just need to put yourself out there. And like both of you guys have said, there's so many amazing people around you, and
Yeah.
like just work with them. Like when are you ever going to get a time when you're surrounded by people similar age with similar ambition and like similar passions? So yeah, just go for it. I guess the final question that we have is, if you could go back to like your former self before you came to Durham, what advice would you give? Or like go a bit forward with your offer holder, what advice would you give? So for those two different people. Hopefully that makes sense.
Don't be scared. I think
Mm.
it's the main thing. Don't hold yourself back because of things that you might think are limiting you. You might be limited by, you know, your financial background, your racial background, you know, your personality, I think is a big thing as well. Like you might feel like because you're very introverted or, you know, you like certain things that you might not find your place. It might take a bit of effort, but you can find it. Don't try and come in with this like massive pressure. Don't put pressure on yourself basically to feel like by the end of first week, you'll have your big group of friendship circles. You know, you'll be in part of Fast Society. You'll be on top of all your lectures, all your seminars, all your readings. There are a few students that are like that and you'll be in awe of them or maybe jealous of them. But don't let that intimidate you. Some people have had that head start in life and they'll find the transition to university more natural because of that experience that they've had. Others won't. It started the experience for me, like it was a really big culture shock coming to university and be like, oh my God, what do I do with myself now? If you come in with your principles, you come in with your interests, you come in with an open mind of like what you want to do and like realistically knowing what you want to achieve, you can go far and you will go far. Like, don't hold yourself back. And it's something that I sort of think about myself. And I was like, could I have done more if I didn't hold myself back? Like, don't let those thoughts limit you. And definitely make most of the support that Durham gives you. I think even I'm now like so surprised at all the support that Durham still offers. Like I've mentioned college at the start, but like career support is like a thing, like a big thing. I got an email now being like, here are the vacancies for coming up for next term. Like use that, use your lecturers, use your seminar leaders, like go to office hours, you know, speak to them, be interested in your degree. Like you're ultimately here at university to learn and be interested in your degree. Like, you know, it'll be a lot of trial and error. You'll find out by the end of first year, like especially you know, this is how I study the best. This is what society is interested in. These are my boundaries. These are the people that, like, you know, I can hang around with, and these ones are probably I don't want to. Like, you can take ownership of those things. Like, do take ownership of your time at university. It can be a bit of a weird transition, I think, especially if you've not had that experience. It can feel like some people are ahead of you, and by the end of the day, it's like, it's not a race. Like, you're just competing against yourself. You know, are you a better person going into university than you are going out of it? Graduating now, like, I've definitely grown a lot. I've definitely seen things and, you know, learned things that, you know, have taught me a lot about myself, what I like, what I don't like, how I adapt to different environments. And I think that's going to be really important going forward, going into the world of work. I feel like some people hype at university to be like this romantic, idealized experience of, like, you know, you'll find your people, you know.
Find your partner. Apparently that's a big stat.
That's a big thing. You'll find your romantic partner, you know, you'll be on top of all these lectures, you'll go to all these sports societies. Like, it's not going to be like that for everyone. And it doesn't have to be like that for everyone. It has to be like what you want it to be, whatever it is. Like, you know, if you want to, like, you know, stay in at 9 p.m. and watch a movie every night, like, go for it. Honestly, no one's gonna judge. Like, genuinely, like, you have to, like, be open to new things, try new things, but don't compromise your entire personality just to fit in. Like, there's so much beauty in standing out, and you shouldn't shy away from that. So I feel like I've waffled on for a little bit, but, like,
So
I think the TLDR is, like, be yourself, try new things, but don't push yourself, and don't compare, because, like, some people will find this thing easier, some people find it difficult, but it's not a competition. It's literally, what do you want to make out of university, and that's all that matters, really. If you know what that is for you, you will go far. You will go far.
Yeah, I genuinely agree with everything that you said. I think while you were speaking, the two things that came to my mind were put yourself out there and don't change who you are for anyone, you know. I feel like, me personally, before coming to university, I would say I was much more confident than I am now. I don't know. I think since coming here, I felt so overwhelmed by, you know, just how many people there are here, and just by a lot of things. And I think, yeah, there are times where I have thought about, like, the differences between myself and somebody who went to private school. But I think it's all about just reminding myself that even though they had more opportunities and they had this, we are in the same place at the end of the day. Like, there's nothing, like, if you put me next to somebody that went to private school, I don't think you can really tell the differences, because we, at the end of the day, we're in the same place, you know. I've worked hard to be here, and so have they, you know. And yeah, I just think that you should just try everything, you know, literally what you said, don't compare yourself, because you are so special. You are special. So, yeah, put yourself out there, try everything. Don't change who you are for anyone. And yeah, just enjoy university to the best you can, you know. Yeah. Just enjoy it.
And it's okay if you don't feel that as soon as you come to Durham and you find your feet. Like me and Gabriella, we just finished in first year, and it's gone by so fast.
Yeah.
But, like, you really, you fall in love with a place.
Yeah. And don't be scared to do things alone, you know. You may feel as though it's going to take a while to meet your people. I know I definitely felt that a couple of times, but, you know, it hasn't stopped me from going to the theatre by myself, going to the cinema by myself. Literally yesterday I went to watch the new Karate Kid by myself. Like, don't be scared of doing things by yourself, because at the end of the day, you know, by going somewhere by yourself, you might leave that place meeting somebody new. So yeah, don't be scared to do things on your own. I think that's a good thing as well.
I think people have this misconception that Durham's small, but actually, especially
it's massive.
There's a lot to do within Durham. There's so many cafes.
And it's so close to Newcastle if you do ever get bored.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle, but also, like, I've been going out on a few day trips as well recently. Now I've graduated. Well, about to graduate.
So many good walks.
So many good walks. So many
York.
Edinburgh's only 2 hours away, even less than that.
Yeah.
Like,
for all you Londoners, welcome to the north.
Yeah.
It's a big place.
It's a lot more culturally diverse than you think it is. I think, like, a lot of people I know regret not exploring Durham more in their time because people talk about the bubble quite a bit, but I think one of the biggest things to talk about is, like, or think about is, like, don't just constrain yourself to the Durham bubble. Do get out there, do go see places, go to the beach, you know, go see a show in Newcastle, really nice go walk around Dean's Village in Edinburgh, like, go walk the coast, like, do what you want to do. Don't be afraid to do it alone, and really make the time, because you might not be, you might, so for a lot of people, they might not live in the Northeast again, but it's such a culturally and, you know, really rich region that you just don't realise. And I think a lot of people should maybe be more aware of that. So
Yeah.
definitely make the most of it. And that's something I'm trying to do now a lot as well.
That's such a good way to end the podcast. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Hey.
And we really hope you guys found this useful. Thank you guys so much for those of you who have stayed till the end, which was about like an hour almost.
Oh,
Has it
wow.
been an
But
hour?
yeah, it has been. But yeah, I really hope you guys find that helpful. And then, yeah, I'll put any extra episodes down below, any more resources that we mentioned. But yeah, thank you for being on here. And good luck with everything and hope to see you in Durham. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.